We're scanning. We're staying at scanning. Old scanning.
Mic test 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Y'all know I'm hyper as can be. Hello.
How are you, sir? I agree. Still, the power for the space. I'm ready.
Testing. Can you hear me? Good morning. Good Saturday morning. We're going to get started. It's 10:05 and that's prime time. So can you come on in, and if it doesn't get too warm, Sandra, can you close the doors? Wow, this is nice. So we set the room for 200 people, and it looks like we're pretty close. So we're just going to allow the last president, right? Give it up. Hey, Joe, I need your front. This is great. Okay, good. So good morning. My name is Carmen Gates. I am the VP of Community Development and External Affairs Officer at the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. So to get started this morning, on behalf of our founder, president, and CEO, Dr. John Harmon, our board of directors, our staff, and volunteers, we welcome you to this year's first Mayoral Forum for this election year. We are truly grateful that you have joined us this morning to be a part of this important community conversation. Your presence demonstrates your commitment to civic engagement and to the future of the city of Trenton. I would like to extend a special welcome and thank you to our elected officials, community leaders, members of the clergy, Pastor Taylor, business leaders, nonprofit organizations, neighborhood associations, members of the media, Trenton Journal, shout out, and all of the residents who have taken the time to be with us today. A very special thank you goes out to Mercer County Community College for hosting this forum, and to Trenton Journal, Kenneth Miles, for your media coverage, and especially important to our volunteers for their continued support. Give it up for the volunteers. We also want to thank each of our candidates for accepting our invitation and for their willingness to serve the residents of Trenton. Because we want to ensure complete fairness and transparency, the candidates' seating assignments have not been predetermined, as you can see. Instead, we will conduct a random drawing here this morning to determine the order. And to help me do that, Sandra, would you come forward, please? So we're going to seat them left to right based on how they're drawn. Thank you. So this first seat here goes to, you can open it. Who's that? Austin Edwards. Next seat. Rolando Ramos. Wow, they Ramos. Right, next seat. Corey McNear. Next seat, Jossie Edwards. And so then we know, Mayor, you're up. Okay, great. So, okay, so that part is good. See, full transparency, everything's good. Thank you, thank you. So also on the ballot this year are 3 city council seats. 2 city council members that are already city council are running for re-election. That would be Crystal Feliciano and Yasminelli Gonzalez. And we have a new candidate on the ballot running for at-large seat, Joel Griffith. So hopefully welcome them to share some brief remarks, 2 minutes, and we're going to start with Ms. Feliciano. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
All right.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is a pleasure to see everybody here today. I don't think we've had a forum or anything with this many people gathered together at one time. So there's some serious business going on here today. So thank you. Give it up for yourselves for being here this morning. Thank you to the African American Chamber of Commerce for putting this on. I am Crystal Feliciano, currently the incumbent for City Council at large here in the city of Trenton. I have done the work. I have done exactly what my platform has said. It is based around the word race, revitalization, accountability, collaboration, and equity for all. We are envisioning and creating a better Trenton for each and every one of us. When we talk about ordinances to better our city, I've written them. When it comes to resolutions to better things, I've done that as well. I have also supported my council colleagues when they have brought forth good and important, viable resolutions and ordinances to help strengthen our city. No one's a puppet here, no one's a pawn, and no one is a plaything, neither is the city of Trenton. I bring 28 years of audit and investigative experience to the table, and I utilize it each and every day. And let's be clear, this is a part-time position in title only, but in actuality, it is full-time work. I am boots on the ground each and every day. I am ever present wherever you need me to be. And if I can't get right back to you in that moment, I make sure that I do swing around, and depending on the situation, I'm gonna pop up on you, because that's what real leadership does. I have an open ear, I have an open mind, I have a heart for this city, and I respectfully ask for your vote to re-elect me, Crystal Marie Feliciano, back to Councilwoman at Large for the city of Trenton. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Give it up. And next we'll have Yasminelli.
Well, good morning, beautiful people. Buenos días. I am Yasminelli Gonzalez, Councilwoman at Large. I am a grassroots organizer here in the city of Trenton. Went to all Trenton public schools, graduated from Trenton Central High School. I am born, raised, and want to be a part of the change of the city. The work that I've done, I spent the first year as, first of all, I'm an educator of 24 years. I've been coaching the kids in the city of Trenton, a home instructor. All of these things have helped me, that experience has helped me to understand the needs and the challenges that our city needed at the time that I ran the first time. I spent my first 2 years listening, being responsive, listening to the needs of the city, and then I acted on the legislation that needed to be passed. So I just want you to know that I have taken my time to address affordability, accessibility, transparency, accountability. I have done all of these things with some of the ordinances that I passed, making sure that the main goal when I'm passing ordinances is to better the quality of life of all of us here in the city of Trenton. I, along with my colleagues, we have done some things with rent stabilization, making sure that these landlords do not take advantage of our renters, and also that the renters don't take advantage of the landlords. So if you haven't known some of the ordinances I have passed, you can see the table out there. All of that is in my information packet. I am humbly asking for your support for a second term as I continue to be committed to be responsive to the needs in the city of Trenton. I'm sorry, y'all know how to like the microphone for those who do know me. But I also want to say que estoy aquí para preguntar y para su apoyo, para ser concejal otra vez más por un tema para los next 4 años y para que nosotros together we can continue to work for the city. I ask again November 3rd that you vote for me as one of your councilwomen at large. Thank you.
Okay, next up, new on the ballot this year, Mr. Joel Griffith.
What's up, Chairman? Before you start my time, because she's on here, I got some new ready. No. Real quick, if you guys don't mind, my mom is here, and today's her birthday. Y'all please show Sarah, mom. She's 21 today. Somebody buy her a drink. First, I want to start off by thanking the African American Chamber for allowing me the opportunity to speak this morning. I see a lot of familiar faces, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joel Griffith, and I'm running for Trenton City Council at large. I was born here in Trenton. I went off to Morehouse College, where I received my degree in political science. I spent my career working in both the public sector and the private sector. On the public side, I worked on the federal level down in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. On the state level, here at the New Jersey State House. And on the municipal level for the New York City Department of Small Business Services, where I helped to improve neighborhoods throughout New York's 5 boroughs. On the private side, I worked for several technology companies like LinkedIn, Snapchat, Amazon, and TikTok, helping Fortune 500 companies with their digital strategy. I'm also an entrepreneur. I co-founded a company that's done business here in the United States and also internationally. And a few years ago, I had the opportunity of taking that company on the TV show Shark Tank, where I made a deal with Mark Cuban. But my most important job is being a father. I have a 4-year-old daughter named Ella, and my wife Jasmine and I are raising Ella right here in Trenton because we believe in this city. Now I'm running for city council because I have a vision for Trenton that's much different than what we see today. I see a Trenton where corporations invest in our city, helping to create jobs and adding to the tax roll so that we can finally lower property taxes. I see a Trenton that takes advantage of its natural resources along the Trenton waterfront, developing that land and maximizing our geographical location between New York City and Philadelphia. I see a safer Trenton for our kids to grow up. I see a cleaner Trenton for us, for what we see today. I'll just say this.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you. So, moving right along for today's agenda. Okay, where am I? Oh, maybe I need these. Thank you. And now, it is my distinct honor to introduce a lifelong Trenton resident, a nationally recognized business leader, and a tireless advocate for economic equity, opportunity, and community development across the state of New Jersey, with his focus right here in his home city, Trenton, New Jersey. Please join me. I couldn't ask for a better leader. Like, I've had several jobs in my career, but I can tell you, none better than this guy. Please join me in welcoming the founder, president, and CEO of AACCNJ, Dr. John Harmon.
Good morning, everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause. You know, they got me scripted today, and I'm already trying to get rid of some of these pages because we want to get right to it, right?
Yes, sir.
There's a few comments I do that I would like to make. I want to thank all the candidates being here. The mayor, Jazzy, Corey, and I just met Mr. Ramos this morning and Brother Austin. Get these public servants a round of applause. takes a lot of courage to run for public office. You're fully exposed to criticism. And you know, one thing about Trenton, I'm off script already. In this great city that I love and that I still live in, there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks. Here you go.
Oh, yes.
Right? And you can't get in the game unless you get dirt on the uniform. This is not the time to be second guessing. This is the time to be fully assessing the people who want to lead this city in this next term, right? That's what it's about. Not a personality contest. It's about what you've done, what you're going to do, and if you can do what you say you're going to do, right? And so I've been living here long enough to know a little bit about this town. And I can say, and I respect anybody that's been elected to public office. I've never been elected to public office, but that doesn't mean I don't know what to do when given an opportunity to do it. I'm here, the chamber's here to be a resource to this community, a resource to this state, and this is why we're here today. I want to thank everyone that made this possible. Special thanks to Mercer County Community College and the staff and the volunteers that are here today. Give them a round of applause. Carmen has recognized all the partners, and I'll just pick up a few notes here, and then we'll get on to today's program. Today's not about personalities. It's not about political parties. It's all about this city. It's about our neighborhoods, our businesses, our people, young and those who are a little more seasoned. It's about the future. And I said earlier, it's not about personalities. Over 30 years, I have made myself available to try to get this city and this community and this state to another level. It's all about relationships, leveraging resources, opportunities, and information to help people realize their dreams. Moreover, it's about access to information and opportunity. If you don't have access to those things, your dreams cannot be realized. And sometimes access to decision makers who can help transform good ideas into real progress. This is why today's conversation matters. The city of Trenton stands at an important crossroads. We are blessed with tremendous assets. We are the capital city of the state. We have remarkable educational institutions within this city and a multitude of dedicated residents. We have an extraordinary location between New York and Philadelphia. We have rich history, diverse cultures, talented entrepreneurs, and incredible potential. Yet, we also know we have challenges. Too many families continue to struggle economically. Too many young people continue to search for opportunity. Too many businesses face unnecessary obstacles. Too many neighborhoods still await their investment. These realities require an honest conversation, and more importantly, they require collaboration. And I'm going to bring this thing to an end. My hope is that whomever earns the privilege of serving as the next mayor of this city embraces a spirit of collaboration, and one that welcomes partnership, encourages innovation, values transparency, and understand that lasting progress belongs to everybody. Because ultimately, Trenton deserves more than promises. It deserves progress. It deserves opportunity. It deserves leadership. And above all, it deserves, as I said a few times already, partnerships. Thank you once again for joining us today. May today's conversation be thoughtful. May it be respectful. May it be informative. And may it help our city one step closer to the future that every resident desires, deserves, and hopes for every day. Thank you, and let's get started.
Thank you, Mr. Harmon. Okay, so before I bring up the moderator for today, let me just give you a little background or on the agenda and how it's going to go down. Just a framework on the agenda. So some of you have copies of the agenda. The opening statements are going to go left to right, and then the closing statements will come right to left. The moderator is going to lay out the ground rules, but keep in mind, I just need to reiterate that this is a forum, not a debate. There's no rebuttals. So you answer the question, you have 1 minute to answer the questions, and our moderator will, but I just want to be clear. You have 1 minute to answer the questions. Our timekeepers, thank you so much for keeping everybody on task. So we chose 6 topics: economic development and business, job and workforce development, housing and home ownership, healthcare, public safety, education and youth, and accountability and representation. Each candidate will get a question from each topic, a different question. They're not going to answer the same question. It gets boring, right? So each candidate will have a question for each topic. Okay? Did I miss anything? I think I'm good. Oh, and if time allows, at the end, we will ask some pre-submitted questions. So if you have the little slip and you'd like to submit a question in advance, see Mary or Margaret up here up front. They have the little slippy slip. And then as time permits, we will ask. So without further ado, let me tell you about our moderator today, Mr. Philip Woolfolk, an author, a coach, a strategist, investor, and business builder with a mission to help individuals, communities, high-achieving professionals, and entrepreneurs break through financial ceilings, expand their potential, and scale with sustainability. As a speaker and coach, Phil delivers impactful presentations and workshops to audience on breaking free of living paycheck to paycheck, business growth and prosperity, access to capital, wealth building, home ownership, and real estate investing. Additionally, Phil serves on the boards of the Villa Victoria Academy, a private all-girls college school from which his daughters graduated in 2013 and 2016. Are your daughters here, Phil? No, okay. He serves on the board of the U.S. Medical Innovations, a life sciences company where they are engineering plasma physics to fight cancer through surgical devices and cold plasma technology, and Oceans Harbor House, a not-for-profit organization that provides housing, supportive living programs, and advocacy for youth who are homeless or in crisis. Without further ado, please welcome, give it up for Mr. Philip Woolfolk.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we're going to get started here. So good morning and welcome to today's Candidate Forum hosted by the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. The AACCNJ is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization recognized under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. As such, we do not endorse, support, or oppose any candidate for public office. This forum is being conducted solely for educational purposes to provide an opportunity for candidates to share their perspectives on issues impacting the business community and the public. Every declared qualified candidate in this race was invited to participate. The candidates appearing today reflect those who accepted the invitation, whether Republican or Democrat. The format of this forum has been designed to ensure fairness, neutrality, including equal opportunity for each participant to respond to questions. The views expressed by the candidates are their own and do not reflect the views of the AACCNJ, its leadership, or its members. We respectfully ask our audience to refrain from demonstrations of support or opposition so that we can maintain respectful and impartial environment for all participants. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to a productive and informative discussion. Please silence your phones. We ask there be no recordings of the program, and please save picture taking till afterwards. Professional media will provide media coverage for today's event. Out of respect for all the candidates and voters, please remove all candidate pins, hats, and apparel. All candidate promotional items, as Carmen indicated at the outset, are on the tables outside of the campaign, outside of the hall here. This morning, we brought together the candidates seeking to represent the residents of our capital city. Our goal is simple: to provide voters with clarity. This forum will focus on policy, priorities, and vision for the city of Trenton. The candidates were seated by drawing, as you witnessed. Opening statements will begin from left to right, closing statements from right to left. And here are the ground rules. Each candidate will receive equal time: 60 seconds for opening remarks, 60 seconds to respond to each question, and 90 seconds for closing remarks. Responses must stay within the allotted time. Personal attacks are not permitted. As Carmen indicated, this is a forum and not a debate. We ask our audience to remain respectful so we can hear directly from the candidates. Please save applause till the end. We will begin with opening statements, followed by the moderator's questions. And opening statements starting from this end.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Can you hear me back there? Good morning, everyone. Good morning. See, my name is Austin Edwards. I first want to thank the Chamber and John Harmon for all the work that you do every day to represent our community. Now, thank you. Now again, my name is Austin Edwards. I'm born here. I'm raised here. And I'm raising my family here. And I'm running for mayor because we deserve someone who's finally going to put Trenton first. Because how many of us have to walk past broken and abandoned buildings every day? How many of us as parents live next to parks that we can't send our kids to? How many of us see and hear about the corruption happening in City Hall all of the time? See, I saw that since I was a kid growing up here in Trenton, and I dedicated my career to fighting back. At the Attorney General's office, I took those who abused the public trust to court. I wrote the Immigrant Trust Directive to protect our neighbors from ICE. And as president of the NAACP, I exposed police abuse and got 600 people's records expunged because I believe everybody like Trenton deserves a second chance. That's why I'm running for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're going to stick to the time, and if we need to, we'll appoint somebody to be a mic grabber.
And just can everyone not clap while they're talking, because you're taking away their time.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rolando Ramos. Just like Austin, I'm a lifelong resident of Trenton. I spent my adult life in service. As a young man, 18 years old, I joined the Marine Corps and served for 6 years. I then joined the fraternity, the first mass fraternity in the country, and we were in service of God and humanity. And then I came back home and became a police officer, and I served this community for 26 years. And I wasn't a guy that sat behind a desk. I wasn't a guy that hung out. I was a guy that was in the worst streets, the worst neighborhoods, dealing with the most violent, the gang members, the drug dealers on an everyday level. I was there doing the hard work that many couldn't do. And I made a reputation by being someone that kept his word, that protected the people and served this community. We need someone that's been a leader before. I've risen up the ranks to retire as a lieutenant from Trenton. I served as a chief of police out in California, and leadership is what I know. Accountability is what the city needs from all levels. And that's what I bring to the table.
Good morning, everyone.
My name is Corey Isaiah McNair. I was born here in the city. I was raised here in the city. I live here. I'm a developer. I'm a police detective. I have a nonprofit. I serve on the Rent Stabilization Board. Listen, Trenton. Trenton deserves a city. Someone who actually gives a damn. I give a damn. And I'm the only candidate on this forum who has sat next to the incumbent mayor for 5 full years and understand the successes and the failures of this administration. My prayer is that you all will vote for me to be the next mayor of Trenton. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Jocelyn Mackay Edwards, and I am a councilwoman at large here in the city, and I'm running for mayor of this capital. I'm running because Trenton needs consistent leadership, needs strong leadership, needs management and coordination on every single level. I'm a mother, I'm a public servant, and I'm a lifelong resident for nearly 38 years. I have worked on every single level of government, from the city to the county to the state and federal government for the past 15 years. I have developed relationships on every single level of government that can move this city forward with the proper coordination, with the right leadership. I am that leader that can lead from day one. I'm not playing guessing games because I've been a part of every single process in this administration, working and leading ad hoc committees, working with this council and working with this administration and our residents of the city. We need businesses here. We need a thriving capital city that looks like we were once the capital of the United States.
Good morning. I want to introduce myself. I'm Mayor Reed Gusamiora, and people call me Mayor Reed. Before elected office, I was a prosecutor and a lawyer, and then served in the legislature for 22 years, along with Bonnie Watson Coleman, Shirley Turner, and Verlina Reynolds Jackson. When I took over, we had 3,000 abandoned properties when I took office. Today, we have less than 300 left to give out. We also made improvements in every neighborhood. Kingsbury, go look at it. It's now under renovation. We won a Choice Neighborhood Award with Donnelly Homes. To reimagine the North Ward, only 7 cities in the United States achieved that goal. We are all working together. We are improving the city. And what we want to do is finish the job, improve more, and be together, all working together. Thank you.
As we said up front, if you could refrain from your applause until the end, that will give us a lot more time. And also, just to announce a quick change to the candidates. At the end, your closing remarks, we're going to increase to 2 minutes to give you a little more time to close out. So the first question is in the area of economic development and business. Candidate Jossie has the first question, and the question is, what is the single most important economic development initiative you would pursue during your first year of office, and why?
That's a great question. Economic development is my passion and my background. The first thing that I would pursue is developing a business action center here in the capital city. A lot of our businesses lack the resources and connection, the collaboration and coordination between all of these different entities that have grants and opportunities for them to succeed or even open up here. So first and foremost, we need to be helping the businesses that exist, helping our entrepreneurs that are trying to get in brick and mortars, and reaching out to anchor businesses across the nation to invite them here to Trenton. And how we do that is putting together a business attraction plan, highlighting the assets of Trenton. We don't have, a lot of issues here. We don't have a lack of opportunities here. We have assets that we can market as a capital city that can attract companies here, but we just have to put in the work. We have to do the work, and I don't see that happening. So that's my first step.
Next question is to candidate Austin. How would you attract new businesses to Trenton while ensuring existing businesses have the support needed to grow and remain in the city?
See, that's a great question, and it goes directly along with my Trenton Jobs Plan. See, we have a lot of small businesses that are already here fighting and struggling just to get by. And unfortunately, we have an administration that has really done nothing to attract businesses here or to support the ones that are struggling to get by. See, as president, thank you, it's okay. As president of the Trenton Downtown Association, we've awarded businesses over $100,000 to continue to survive and hire Trenton residents. And as your mayor, I'll attract more businesses so you can be employed by our businesses that will be here in the city. Without the economic backbone of our downtown and the rest of the city, Trenton won't survive. And that's why I'm asking for your vote as mayor to attract businesses here who will hire Trenton first.
Next question is for the mayor. What steps would you take to increase contracting opportunities for local, minority-owned, and women-owned businesses?
Well, we have. And when I first came, the way to dispose of property was by law through an auction. Working with council, we declared the city in need of rehabilitation. That meant it wasn't just to the highest bidder, it was an application process. Today, we have developers, local developers, working all over the city. Any street that you go down, you see houses that are turning back onto the tax roll because of what we did. We have attracted local developers, we have attracted jobs here, and we're making improvements in all areas of the city. All you have to do is go look and see the ladders, see the contractors, and see the big developments that is coming. Van Skyver building down the street is open. The Bell Telephone building is turned into apartments. We're working with the Housing Authority also to reimagine Donnelly Homes so that everyone can have a livable space.
Next question is for candidate Corey. Downtown revitalization remains a priority for many residents. What specific actions would you take to strengthen Trenton's commercial corridors and business districts?
Wow, thank you for that question. First, I would start by hiring a competent economic development director, not someone that's a friend. Secondly, understanding that is important, right? We talk about our key departments in the city. Public safety, right? We're talking about economic development, that's vital. Our city as a whole is dilapidated, Our city as a whole is dilapidated. It's important that we invest in that, right? So putting someone there that's competent, that understands the city, someone that actually has a vision for the city, that's going to follow the vision that you actually laid out. I think that's all very important. So once again, starting from the basics, putting someone there that's competent that actually can get the work done so we can move Trenton forward. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Rolando. How would you leverage Trenton's location as New Jersey's capital city to attract investment, tourism, and economic growth?
Obviously, the first thing that we need to address is the public safety problem, the image problem of the city. People look at Trenton, they hear Trenton, there's this automatic, whoa, what's going on there? That's Trenton. And so the first thing we need to change is the image of the city. And then you do that with public safety. You address the crime, you address the quality of life issues, you address the concerns of the people. I've been walking around the city and talking to so many people. And they always say, this is the capital of New Jersey. Why does it look this way? And so here we are, right? We walk around, you look at it, you see it, it's dirty, it's crime-ridden. And what is the plan? We have never heard a plan. And so we can't leverage our position until we clean this city up. So that's what we do. We clean the city up, and then we reach out to these outside agencies, these outside cities, and say, we're open for business. We're ready. Thank you.
The next topic area is jobs and workforce development. First question goes to candidate Austin. What strategies would you implement to create more employment opportunities for Trenton residents?
Again, thank you for the question. See, there are far too many of us that are struggling just to get by here in Trenton. And we don't have enough companies that are here that are hiring us. And part of the reason is that we don't have coordination specifically out of City Hall as to which industries we need to bring in. See, on the school board, I've been working with our youth and young adults so they can get trained in jobs in film, because Netflix is right around the corner. In aviation, because we have a brand new airport that's coming. In big pharma, because right up Route 1, we got J&J, we got Bristol-Myers Squibb, and we've been coordinating with Mercer County Community College to get these kids ready for it. I want to continue that workforce development plan right out of City Hall and coordinate which jobs will headquarter here, hire here, and keep Trenton first.
Next question is for candidate Jossie. How would your administration support workforce training programs that prepare residents for high-demand careers?
Thank you for that question. We'll do what we're already doing, coordinating with local colleges and universities to implement training and everything with the employees that we have. We have a lot of residents that need skills to be able to fill these positions. I see a lot of times as a council member that this administration is not able to fill positions, not just because of the low compensation, but because a lot of residents here are not eligible for the positions. So we have to create pipelines from our high school, from our colleges and universities and our trade schools to city employment, to private employment as well, and working with the companies that we have here and inviting companies here and helping them to develop a workforce. But training is key in order to get viable talent in the city and to recruit them. But we definitely have to increase our compensation because that's the only way we're going to attract them as well.
Next question is for the mayor. What industries do you believe offer the greatest opportunity for job growth in Trenton, and how would you support them?
Right now we have a lot of local contractors that are able to hire. We also have an ordinance going through council to working with unions for project labor agreements that will bring on apprentices, not only from the high school, but the area of Tech. They'll be able to work in the city on jobs. Before, companies would come in, not hire locally, use their own resources from outside of the city. But with project labor agreements, you can mandate anybody who's getting a pilot or any kind of state aid, they would have to use local apprentices and job training, and that will help jumpstart the youth for tomorrow. But we also put in a business accelerator. The state funded, was going to fund 3 business accelerator programs. Only one is working, and that one was established here in Trenton.
Next question is for candidate Rolando. What role should the city play in helping returning citizens secure employment and economic stability?
That's a really good question. I actually met a young man that I knew from my early days as an officer. He was someone that had just recently come out. And his questions were that exact question. How do I connect? What do I need to do to improve my circumstance? Because I'm being judged by what I did in my past. And listen, I'm a firm believer that choices have consequences, right? But we also have second chances. We also have opportunities that need to be there for when you do say, I'm ready to change my life. I'm ready to move forward and take care of my family, take care of my children. And so the city has a big role in that. We need to provide them with opportunities to get trades, get education, get their GED. We need to incorporate the different schools, the different unions to try to create these opportunities so that then they're prepared for these job opportunities.
Next question is for candidate Corey. How would you strengthen partnerships between employers, educational institutions, and workforce development organizations?
Thank you for that question. I'll lower my tone. So I think that the number one word you mentioned is partnerships. Is that still too loud? Okay. Here we go. Partnerships. Partnerships is very important. I know this city, this is my city, I grew up here. When you go to Oakland and Hoffman, Stuyvesant and Hoffman, Hermitage and Bucknott, these guys who are standing on the corners and girls who are standing on the corners, they're not just there, they've lost hope. We have to partner with organizations like the African American Chamber of Commerce, Mercer County Community College, local trade schools to train these individuals to become plumbers, carpenters, electricians, and put them back to work. Enough is really enough. I don't hear anything about the last decade because it hasn't been done. We have to work together to get these folks employed and to move this city forward. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Austin. What specific initiatives would you introduce to increase home ownership among Trenton residents?
See, that's a great question because all the time I talk to Trenton residents who are being crushed over the price of living here in Trenton. And it seems like our city hall has really just allowed this to happen. Whether you rent here in Trenton, we haven't had a rent control board that met routinely over the last 2 years while our prices are going up and our money's going to slumlords from out of town. See, what we deserve is a mayor who is going to fight to make Trenton affordable. My Housing for All plan is simple. First, we're going to freeze the rent and make housing affordable whether you rent or own here in Trenton. Second, we are going to ensure those 1,200 city-owned vacant properties or abandoned buildings get fixed up by Trentonians and connect you with low-cost lenders so you can afford to live here. And then finally, we will make sure that everyone can doesn't have to suffer under the slumlords that are coming left and right. Housing is personal to me, and I want to make sure everyone too has a dream here in Trenton.
Next question is for the mayor. How would you address vacant, abandoned, and deteriorating properties throughout the city?
Right now we have 400 applications for our abandoned properties, and we are making deals of reviewing those applications, but they're going to local folks. And we've made fire sale prices on the property, and they're being gobbled up by local developers who are hiring local and paying wages locally. It's really important that we do address these abandoned properties. Like I said, we had 3,000 on the first day of my administration, and we have made improvements. It's not enough, it's not fast enough, but we have made improvements. And I think things, as we are making deals with local developers to come in, take over these abandoned houses and fix them up and bring them back to the tax rolls.
Next question is for candidate Rolando. How would you address the growing challenge of housing affordability for working families and seniors?
That's a really good question. And this is something that's happening around nationwide too. It's affordability, we know a lot of it comes from the federal issues that are happening statewide. The state is one of the highest taxed states in the country, if not the highest. And so all those things factor into the cost of living. We need to address how we do business. I think the biggest issue that I've met with contractors, with homeowners, is that the city doesn't do its job appropriately, on time. They have policies and protocols, and they are never followed. You talk to a contractor, he says, it's supposed to be done in 21 days, and I'm getting things done 6 months, 8 months, I'm getting approvals, and then I'm getting rejected, and then I got to reintroduce what I was already introduced. And so these mistakes, these continual things are part of the reason why costs are going up, because people are expected to wait to continue reinvesting in things they've already paid for, and it's causing folks to pay more.
Next question is for candidate Austin. What role should developers play in helping the city meet its housing goals, and how would you ensure accountability? Yes.
Okay. Listen, I'm happy to keep talking about housing here in Trenton, all right? Because I know for me, I didn't mention before, in growing up here in Trenton, right? Housing is personal because I lost my house when I was growing up here in Trenton. And so I know the feeling that a lot of people are going through as they face rising property taxes, as their rents continue to go up every month, as they wonder whether they're going to pay their PSE&G bill or be able to pay TWW. See, I want to make housing affordable for all. That is my plan here in Trenton. It needs to be coordinated out of City Hall so you can afford to live here, get connected with the Trenton developer who's going to fix your property up, and make sure that you have a mayor that's fighting so you don't have to move elsewhere from your hometown. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Corey. How would you encourage more residents to remain in Trenton and invest in their communities?
Wow, thank you for that. So as an investor in this community, I understand how vital it is, right? I understand how vital it is to support the individuals who actually want to live here in the city. First, I would make it a fair process for individuals who are trying to obtain properties here in this city. People ask the questions, how do I become a homeowner in this city? How do I buy a property? The process is not fair, folks. The process is not fair. Some folks skip the procurement process to get homes. Some folks are buying properties on Stuyvesant Avenue, working on them at 11 p.m. at night. Some homes are not being inspected. So you think folks who have basically their basic needs not being met are going to stay in a city where their code enforcement is not even in place? Well, the code enforcement inspector is now the housing and economic development inspector, so we got to figure out which role you're going to work in. You're going to inspect or you're going to sell. You're going to inspect or you're going to draw people in. Figure it out. Thank you.
The next topic area is healthcare. And the first question is to candidate Jossie. What role should City Hall play in improving access to healthcare services for Trenton residents?
I was hoping to get that homeownership question. But let's talk about healthcare because we just lost our second hospital. And rumor has it we're on the verge of losing our third. We need to develop a task force and work with our Health and Human Services Director to work with all of the entities that still exist, working with Capital Health. We need to invite urgent care here. We need to make sure every ward in our city has a dentist's office, a doctor's office, or an emergency care facility. We need to be working regionally because it's not just Trentonians that need these healthcare facilities, it's our neighboring townships too that have went to our Capital Health, our St. Francis, our Mercer Hospital, and now they're going everywhere else. Trentonians do not have transportation to Hopewell or to Plainsboro to Princeton University Hospital. Our buses don't go there. So accessibility is very limited. So I will work with our professionals here in the city to develop that task force and develop that plan.
Next question is for candidate Austin. How would you address mental health challenges affecting individuals, families, and communities throughout the city?
See, I appreciate talking about healthcare here in Trenton because that is another issue of affordability.
Yeah.
And for me, healthcare is personal. I was born on Rutherford Avenue, and I had a friend at the age of 13 who unfortunately died of a health condition while Mercer Hospital was closing. My daughter wasn't even born in Mercer County because the closest hospital is in Middlesex. Meanwhile, we have an administration that's sitting on their hands while these prices go up. See, what I want to do as your mayor is negotiate with these healthcare companies to be able to come to Trenton, to headquarter here. I want to support our Trenton health team so they can continue the good work they're doing. Henry J. Austin, who is often the first means of preventative care, should have more funding to continue to lower our healthcare costs here in Trenton. And as your mayor, I will fight every day so you can afford the healthcare that you deserve.
Next question is for the mayor. What partnerships would you pursue with healthcare providers and community organizations to improve health outcomes?
Actually, great question. First of all, I wasn't in office when Mercer closed, and it is a shame, and a private developer bought it. We had a chance to buy it ourselves, but the first council stopped that, and now it's just sitting there. St. Francis, we weren't going to let that happen. Worked with Trinity Healthcare, And guess what? Trinity is giving us the property after the property is demolished. What we want to do is partner with either Capital Health or another hospital to bring in urgent care there. So they'll have a health facility on the property, but also do mixed use with senior housing at the St. Francis site. That's a good thing for Trenton. And also the cell tower on top of the hospital, we work with the school to put it on that property so that they get the royalties from the cell tower. We're also opening up a city clinic that was long closed right on Warren Street, on Broad Street, that offers essential services in conjunction with Henry J. Austin.
The next question is for candidate Corey. How would you address substance abuse disorders and support recovery services within the city?
Look at God. Okay. Right across from 319 East State Street at the corner of Stockton and East State, right by there after you leave here, there are folks who are currently addicted, probably dealing with mental health issues, right? Who are leaning over but never hit the ground. How is it this current administration can walk out onto the balcony? Oh, there's construction going on now, I'm sorry. But can walk out onto the balcony prior to this and see individuals who are leaning over and overdosing daily, right? Look at Ewing Street. Folks are overdosing, 28 overdoses in a weekend. Stop playing with our community. Stop playing with our community. Mental health as it... Okay, well, hold on.
This is not for the audience.
Once again, do I get a few minutes? Okay, we're talking about, thank you, as I was saying, wait a minute now, brother. Hold on. She needs to be removed from the room, I think.
The audience,
time is not up.
hold on a second. The audience needs to save your questions for the end.
That's not a question. It's disrespectful. She needs to go. Can we start over? I want to explain the process to you all. Let me do that. Okay. Okay. All right.
You didn't Narcan anybody. I actually Narcan the people in our city.
God bless you, sister. Let me know when we can start again.
Candidate Corey has been restored to 20 seconds.
Thank you. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna finish it up in 20. As I was saying, folks are overdosing on Ewing Street. Folks are overdosing at Stockton and East State Street. Yes, I am a police officer. Yes, I do carry Narcan. I have been a police officer for more than a decade in this city. Don't tell me how many Narcans I've deployed in this city. The bigger issue is leadership. It's leadership. I'm a police detective, not the police director. Let's be very clear. I will restore leadership in this city. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Rolando. What initiatives would you champion to improve preventative health and wellness in Trenton neighborhoods?
That was fun. You know, there's a difference between driving a mayor and actually doing the job on the street on a daily basis. And when you talk about narcotics, when you talk about dealing with the people on a daily basis, daily seeing it, dealing with it, actually investigating it, it's not an easy situation, right? But we need to address the drug dealing, right? Because that's the biggest issue, right? We need to address how we handle folks that are addicted. We need to have teams because there is still accountability. You make choices in your life, there has to be accountability, but there also has to be a way to help, to redirect, to give them opportunities to change their lives, right? Too many folks have been lost to this war. I was here in the 1990s as a police officer when crack killed this community, all right? And I just want to say one last thing. I fought to make those changes happen.
I'd like to remind the candidates that this is not a place for attack. Please respond to the questions that we ask. This next question, we're going to go back a little bit because we inadvertently skipped candidate Jossie. in the housing and home ownership sector. So this next question is for you. What role should developers play in helping the city meet its housing goals, and how would you ensure accountability?
Thank you for that. I've actually done that as a council member. We have developers here in the city that owns massive size properties that have sat on them for a long time, that said they were going to open up and then turned around and submitted an application for more properties. I stood my ground and met with my council colleagues to demand that that individual company fix the properties that they had first before they had the nerve to buy another one. And we also, as council, as the redevelopment authority, work with developers to make sure that unions are at the table, that local contractors are there, that residents are put first here in the capital city, that they're affordable. We have a lot of opportunities here in the city, Roebling Block 2, we have downtown, we have a lot of commercial corridors and residential corridors around the city. I will work with our contractors and local developers to work on affordable housing opportunities as well as market rate housing opportunities. And I've been doing that as a council member.
The next topic area is public safety. First question is to the mayor. What specific actions would you take to reduce youth violence and increase opportunities for young people?
Thank you for that question. This is the administration that initiated the street teams, and we also are working with Mount Zion with their street team. So there's 2 funded street teams that work in conjunction with our police department. We also have initiated a ride together. When there's a health crisis or a mental crisis, not only do the police show up, but mental health counselors show up as well. And that's in conjunction with Capital Health. We also are working with prisoner reentry. Come down to the C Center and look at the wonderful classes they had. Just this last week, we had forklift training for returning citizens to treat them compassionately, welcome them home, but give them a job training opportunity. So we are working not only with community policing, we're working with outside groups such as the street team to augment the public safety initiatives from the police department itself.
Next question is for candidate Corey. How would you strengthen trust and communication between law enforcement and the communities they serve?
Thank you for that question. I've already done it. I'm actually a law enforcement officer right here in this city. I take pride in walking the streets of Trenton. I don't need a gun or a badge to do it. I'm often on Stuyvesant and Hoffman. I never look on social media. I'm often on Stuyvesant and Hoffman, often on Oakland and Hoffman. I'm walking throughout the city because I care. Let's be clear. I was born on Princeton Avenue, raised on Route 9. I live on Brenton. Trenton is my city. I've never left. I'm not going nowhere. I care about the safety of the city. That's why I chose to stay on my block. I hold down my entire block from Oakland to down to Parkway. They know if something happens, I can go get Corey. I said the other day, if you need something, call me. Somebody screamed, Corey. I said, wait a minute. But we're joking, right? But the neighbors depend on me being where I am to keep them safe, and I enjoy doing it. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Jossie. What is your overall strategy for reducing crime and improving public safety throughout the city?
My overall strategy is to develop a task force that will coordinate between residents and the entities that we have now in our police department. We have a task force in our police department that handle crimes and things, but it's not reaching the community in the ways that it should be. I've missed the times where we used to have neighborhood watch and crime watch. We need to bring that back. We have neighborhood associations and civic associations that are operating in silos. We have all of our task force and things operating in silos, but we need a coordinated approach that is resident-led because we know what we need in our communities. We live here, we sleep here, we raise our kids here. We have to walk down these streets and we see the dangers where they exist, and we know what we need to do to fix them, but too many people are staying silent. So we need a safe place where people can voice their opinions, like a civilian complaint review board, or something similar to that, that will hold this police department accountable as well as our residents.
Next question is for candidate Austin. How would you address quality of life concerns such as illegal dumping, abandoned vehicles, and neighborhood blight?
See, to address all of these issues that we're facing here in Trenton, I first actually want to address that woman who spoke out and does the work every day solving addiction here in our community. Because far too often, we as families know that addiction is personal. And I view everyone in Trenton deserving of help because they're a child of God. Now, my view for public safety is real simple. First, we're going to empower our street teams who can stop a lot of these issues from happening in the first place. We'll ensure that we have local police that actually live here in Trenton and reward them for every day that they actually stay here, whether it be, promotion opportunities or higher salaries. And then finally, I'm going to make sure that we can increase the amount of youth jobs because they are often in the streets seeing problems as they exist and can report to the Trenton Street Team and our police as to what's going on. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Rolando. What measures would you use to evaluate the effectiveness of your public safety initiatives?
That's a good question. I remember as a lieutenant running the South District, and as a detective lieutenant, I ran the violent crime units. We had to turn in weekly reports of the activity, the crime, using technology, trying to figure out how to stop before things actually happen. As a district lieutenant, like Jazzy said, we had Neighborhood Watch. We had these organizations that we benefited from because they had information. And we have lost a lot of that because of the issues within the police department. I retired in 2018. I was a lieutenant. I tried to be police director here. I had gotten my bachelor's from Rutgers. I have a master's in Hall, and I was prepared to lead this city as a police director, and I was rejected. I ended up in California. I was the chief of police there, and I bring that experience back to help change this city within crime, within poverty, within the things that need to be changed with leadership, not
Next question is for candidate Austin. What role should the mayor's office play in supporting educational success for Trenton residents?
Now, this is a great question to ask. All right. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to serve on the Trenton School Board because I've seen every day our kids who are working hard to succeed. But unfortunately, we haven't had an administration even show up to the school board meetings in years. And so what I want to do as your mayor, no, I won't be sitting on the school board controlling the schools anymore, but I'll partner with our schools to make sure that they have the tools they need to succeed. See, this is actually an economic question because we have a lot of properties that aren't generating money. And so if we get more businesses here, more jobs here, more people employed, that's more money for our school district. So we don't have to keep making magic happen with no money. I want to increase the amount of youth jobs for our kids. And I want to bring back programs like Weed and Seed that we can do here in the city with the mayor that's going to fight for our children. Thank you.
If I didn't mention it, this topic area is education and youth. Next question is for candidate Corey. How would you expand access to after-school programs, mentoring, and enrichment opportunities for you?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Great question. So going back to the youth, if anybody has an understanding of the way it works in the summertime when the kids have employment opportunities, half of those jobs were cut this summer. As a law enforcement officer who serves in the city of Trenton, I want to let you know, an idle mind is what? The devil's workshop. A lot of the crimes being committed in this city ties right back to our youth because they're trying to find something to do. We have to invest in our youth if we want to move our city forward. I would not be cutting 150 jobs for kids. That is insane. What are we looking for? A shutdown? A takeover? We got to do better. We have to do better. Once again, employing our youth, they should know where they're going once they're leaving school, not just to be babysat, but to actually be educated, right? To have extracurricular activities and to actually be successful. That's what we need, not cuts. We need to strengthen and allow them to thrive. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Johnson. What strategies would you pursue to prepare students for careers, entrepreneurship, higher education, and trade certifications?
That's an excellent question. As a mother of a daughter who just graduated high school, yes. She's 18 and I'm older than I look. I'm so grateful for the Trenton Public School System. Contrary to belief, there are a lot of opportunities here. My daughter was in dual enrollment, taking courses at AACCNJ and at Mercer County Community College since she was a rising junior in high school. And she just entered into a 5-year program at Montclair with just 4 years left to complete. So she will graduate with her master's and her bachelor's in 4 years instead of 6. That is the testament to Trenton Public School Systems and the opportunities that exist, but a lot of parents do not know about it. A lot of students are not taking advantage of it. So expanding awareness, education, and opportunities, creating that pipeline to city employment through internships and apprenticeships, but making sure mentorships, like that grant we just lost with the public school systems, reaches where it needs to reach.
Next question is for the mayor. How would you engage local businesses and community organizations in supporting youth development initiatives?
Well, a lot of that comes right from City Hall itself. We initiated a public safety academy that meets during the summer between police and the fire. We also hire hundreds of kids each year as pool attendants, recreational camp advisors, and we have a camp ourselves. Last week, the Public Safety Academy took a trip to the World Trade Museum. And so we're taking these kids on journeys that take them outside the city and so that it broadens their horizons. But we do hire youth. It's not enough. We'd love to hire more, but all of this involves money. Candidates have to tell you where they're going to get the money. When I first came to office, state aid was flat at $6 million. This year they offered us 69. So by working with the legislature and the governor's office, we are increasing revenue into the city. And each time that we can get more money, we can hire more youth and set them up. Thank you.
The next question is for Senator Rolando. What investments would you prioritize to ensure young people have safe, productive, and positive opportunities outside of school?
In my opinion, government doesn't have all the answers, right? And I think one of the major issues that we have in the city is we're not partnering with the churches, with the organizations, with the nonprofits, with the businesses. One of my plans is Adopt a Park, working with these different groups to encourage them to take possession of these parks in conjunction with the police to provide cleaner, safer investments by the public. And that way they actually have an ownership in that, right? Also, the city has a policy where they're not opening up their facilities for outside groups. My brother's a pastor here in New Jersey, in Trenton, and we tried to engage with the city to try to get a gym to bring youth, to bring young men so that we can engage with them through basketball, right? And the city said no, we weren't allowed to do that because we were an outside group. And so we need to open up those opportunities for other groups because, like I said, the city government doesn't have all the answers.
The next topic area is accountability and representation. First question is to candidate Austin. How would you increase transparency and public trust in city government?
See, what I'm tired of seeing in the news all the time is the amount of money that we're losing here in Trenton due to overtime scandals, due to millions of dollars going to insiders in City Hall, or the amount of times you come to City Hall and unless you know somebody, you don't get anything done. And so what I want to do as your mayor is have a Trenton transparency dashboard where you can see every single dollar as it's being spent, working for you to fill potholes, to fix streetlights, to employ our youth. I additionally want to make sure that we retrain every city worker so we can have the highest municipal standards. See, under Austin Edwards mayoral administration, we will have somebody work with you from start to finish on your specific issue and solve that problem for you. That's my vision of transparency here in Trenton.
Next question is for candidate Jossie. What steps would you take to ensure residents have meaningful input in city decision-making?
I would expand on what I've been doing as a council member and what I was doing prior to being on council as an advocate and activist in the city, hosting town halls citywide across every ward, financial literacy workshops, small business development workshops. I've hosted dozens of them. I've included residents at the table to brainstorm what we need and what we want as a city and how we're going to function. So my administration would be completely transparent, as you already know me to be and trust me to do. So open lines of communication is how we change things in our city, opening our doors to residents and stop being so secretive when things happen, when violence happens or when good things happen. The public needs to know about it. What are all the secrets for? You should know where your tax money is going. You should know what projects are coming up, clean streets, street repaving, houses being demolished or even being sold to anyone, whether it's a resident or an outside developer. You should know what's going on here in the capital city.
Next question is for candidate Corey. How would you improve communication between City Hall and residents across all wards?
Great question. I would first start off by creating what we call committees. We need community members to be involved in this process. We talk about accountability and leadership. Well, folks, the 50 million plus in misappropriated funds wouldn't have happened if we had a CFO that was permanently in place. How do you have an administration for nearly a decade who does not have someone who's overseeing the money? That's a problem. That's a leadership deficit. We can't operate any longer that way. We got to change the mindset of the people. Leadership knows we have to have folks in place who are going to hold individuals accountable. If you can't do that, thank you for your time. You can go. Thank you.
Next question is for candidate Rolando. What systems would you implement to measure the performance of city departments and hold leadership accountable?
That's a good question.
It appears that the city doesn't have any standards, right? They have jobs, functions, and the job just gets done, I guess. I went to a neighbor yesterday, and she had pointed out a tree in front of her house that the city came out and actually marked to be cut down. And what they did, they cut the tree in front of it, then they cut the tree behind it, but the one they marked, they left there. And that's not accountability. That's not doing the job. And so we have a major issue in this city that people do work, but don't do the job. And we don't have accountability. When someone asks me, what would be my 3 words that would define my mayorship, right? Accountability, accountability, accountability. All right? Accountability from the mayor's office, accountability from the people that work for the city, but also accountability for the people that live in the city. We've allowed people to do whatever they want, wherever they want, however they want.
Next question is for the mayor. How will you ensure that every neighborhood and demographic group feels represented in your administration?
Well, every neighborhood is represented in the administration, but as far as accountability, we have a mechanism called City Staff. We have a monthly meeting at City Hall where residents can come and all the directors are there that you can ask questions for. And it does work. We solve problems. If there's a tree out of place and that hasn't been taken care of, that's where you can come. Citizens can come in and directly confront the directors themselves. And also, when there's this old saying, if all men were angels, we wouldn't need the police. Every single person that has done anything criminality-wise at City Hall has been referred to the prosecutor's office. We have over 1,200 employees. But when somebody does something that is wrong, we shouldn't disparage all of City Hall. They are working, they are moving the city forward. All you have to do is look around.
The next area are hot topic questions, and we have two. The first question will be posed to Jossie, Corey, and Austin. And that question is, where do you stand on the Trenton Waterworks issue and why?
Ooh. Come on now.
Starting with Jossie.
So, if you know me, you know I have been standing strong and proud on keeping ownership of Trenton Waterworks in Trenton. I understand that Trenton Waterworks has been suffering from critical and structural issues for the last several years under this administration, and even prior to that, dating back decades. These issues are not new, but under my leadership, I created an ad hoc committee with my colleagues, and we meet periodically, and hopefully we'll be meeting with the new DEP commissioner very soon so that we can address the needs of our waterworks. We need to keep this in Trenton. But in order to do that and keep the attacks away, we have to run our department efficiently, starting with a director that knows how to manage, starting out with a team. We need operators, engineers, grant writers. We're leaving a lot of money on the table by simply not applying for them. That could be replacing lead lines, updating our pumps, and expanding our services across all 5 districts. Thank you.
Same question posed to Corey. Where do you stand on the Trenton Waterworks issue and why?
Thank you for that question. Let's first start off, once again, leadership and accountability. We have qualified individuals within the Trenton Waterworks today who actually can lead the Trenton Waterworks, right? We have a system that is broken. And I'm not gonna blame the current administration because it happened long before they got there. However, it is your responsibility to fix it. If anybody understands the way that works, Trenton Waterworks is one of, if not the only department that's not under the monitoring of DCA. So guess what, y'all? That's how you bring the employees in who you want to hire that DCA has to approve. Ask those questions. What position were some of the directors in prior to becoming a director, or maybe even an assistant director? Trenton Waterworks is how they hide things. We're gonna uncover that and change Trenton together. Thank you.
All right. Same question for candidate Austin. Where do you stand on the Trenton Waterworks issue and why?
Keep the T in Trenton Waterworks.
That's right.
I'm gonna say that one more time so you can hear me in the back. My goal as mayor is to keep the T in Trenton Waterworks. But we also can't have an administration that's telling you all the water is fine. And then, oh, by the way, we have to legally tell you about this lead that was in your water last month, but no big deal. See, my goal as your mayor is to be able to hire competent directors of Trenton Waterworks and retrain every employee so they have the highest municipal standard. Because the end goal that we can't forget about Trenton Waterworks is that every single family here in Trenton deserves clean and safe drinking water. Simple as that.
The next hot topic question will go to candidate Rolando and the mayor, and it is, given that a substantial portion of Trenton's property tax is exempt because it is owned by the state, how would you balance advocating for increased state support while also expanding the city's taxable economic base? Candidate Rolando.
2020.
The Harvard report came out, and it said, due to laws in government buildings and nonprofits, the state government owes $40 to $100 million to the city on an annual basis, right? 15 years ago, when Chris Christie changed the funding from capital aid to transitional funding, the city lost a large portion of that money, about $45 million on a yearly basis. And so we've now gone 15 years with our administration, not just this current one, but the ones before, continually begging the state to help us out, right? With strings attached to this money. when in actuality, it's owed to the city. You know, I've been looking at the way to handle that, right? Obviously, we need a leader to confront the state and say, you owe us this money. Secondly, maybe it's time to say, you know what, we're gonna take you to court and we're gonna force you to pay us this money because it belongs to the city.
Same question to the mayor. Given that a substantial portion of Trenton's property tax is exempt because it is owned by the state, how would you balance advocating for increased state support while also expanding the city's taxable economic base?
Great question. 52% of Trenton is tax exempt. Majority of it is owned by the government. And on top of that, they own land in developable, the best part of the city, along the State House and along the riverfront. We've worked again with the state. When I first came in, state aid was frozen at $6 million for 8 years. Nobody did anything about it. And in 2011, we had a layoff 125 police officers. Since that time, I've worked directly with the governor and DCA to increase that state aid to the point where it's 8 times when I came into office. The other thing is last year, and Jossie was an ally, 176 properties got transferred to private ownership. They got back on the tax roll. This year, we're up to 92 and we're continuing on. We still have about 250 properties to go. Come up to the 3rd floor, you can fill out an application. Thank you.
Thank you to the audience and to the candidates for keeping this on time. Because of that, we're able to have 5 questions from the voters of the city of Trenton, and Carmen's going to take that.
Thank you, Phil. Okay, so we had our pre-submitted questions submitted, and we selected 5 of them, 1 for each candidate. So the first question from the audience: according to FBI statistics, Trenton ranks 50th amongst all state capitals in crime. What will you do to remove this stigma? This question goes to Corey.
Wait, I'm sorry. Read that. I'm sorry.
According to the FBI statistics, Trenton ranks 50th among all state capitals in crime. What will you do to remove that stigma?
Thank you for that. Well, first, you know, we talk about our police department and the crime here in the city. We have to work with partners. We talk about how, oh, there was layoffs in 2011, and that is very true, because I work within the police department. However, we have to figure it out. So we know there was layoffs. We know there's a depleted police force. We have to work with our partners right here in this county to work together to make things better. We have to work with people so we can be able to move our city forward. I think that's vital at this point that we understand that. Also, I like working with, we had the street teams. We know that we had 2 different street teams that are present in the city. A lot of these individuals have been a part of the judicial system and understand and have relationships with folks in the community. We want to strengthen that as well. We want them to continue to work with our youth, to continue to be leaders in the community. That's the trend I want to see. Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. Next public audience question. I have great concerns for the immigrant families living in our community who are being targeted by ICE. How will you address the safety and quality of life for our immigrant brothers and sisters against ICE? This question goes to Rolando.
This is a federal situation. I've been talking to people. I said, this could easily be resolved, right? If Congress actually did its job. Right? If you look at how they handle this situation, Democrats use it for their benefit, Republicans use it for their benefit, and nothing gets resolved. And so we've gotten to the point where now we're demonizing ICE, right? Officers for doing their job, like police officers. Let me finish. And what I mean by that is they are enforcing the laws that aren't in the books. Nothing's changed. Secondly, let me finish.
Hold on, go ahead.
So the issues are, Federal police are not federal officers. They do not enforce federal law.
right? And if they are asking for any status, please report them, because that's not their role, okay? But our role, the role of the police, local police, is public safety and making sure that we don't have property damage, we aren't rioting, we aren't, and making sure that everyone is safe.
Okay, thank you, Rolando. Next audience question. Next audience question. How will we address the literacy crisis among our public school children? Last year, third graders only tested at 6% proficiency for their grade. Wow. This question goes to Jossie.
Repeat the question one more time, please.
How will we address the literacy crisis amongst our public school children? Last year, third graders tested at a 6% proficiency level for their grade.
I just wanted to make sure everyone heard that.
Okay, I want to say it again now.
Because this is real. This is what's showing up in our community. This is why when we look into crimes and they're tracing back to our youth, we understand that they're missing fundamental education in our community. A lot of families are suffering from substance abuse, parents being incarcerated and removed from the homes, mothers left to survive on their own, and their children can't concentrate because they're hungry, they're tired, they're scared, they're abused, they're being raped, they're homeless, there's teenagers sleeping under the bridges in our city. This is why education looks the way that it does, because we have issues at home. And under my administration, I will be working with these families. I will be working with this administration and the public school systems to make sure that the information and the care that they need for mental health services and substance abuse and family crisis is met.
Thank you, Jossie. Next audience question. What performance metrics will you publicly report so residents can evaluate your administration? Mayor.
Again, we have city staff where residents can come in and directly confront directors and get results, and there are reports about it. But we believe in accountability, and things have improved in the city of Trenton. They'll try to convince you they aren't, but they are. And we want to finish the job to make sure that Trenton is in the same trajectory, that it's respected from the state, that the state gives adequate aid. I'm working with the county executive, who's also doing projects in the city. But by working together is the most important matrix, is to make sure that citizens are assured that government is working. And whether it's the water department, which we want to keep in Trenton, and working with the Department of Environmental Protection, or it's working with health to make sure that we get a healthcare out there, a clinic. We're working on every level to make things better.
Thank you, Mayor. Next question from the audience. City government needs to function at its highest, and to do that, we need to root out corruption and waste. What will you do to root out corruption and waste, Austin?
Let me tell you all about this Trenton Transparency Dashboard, because that's the greatest way, in the absence of it, that we've had a lot of issues hidden from us, right? We've had an administration that's wasted $50 million of our dollars to political insiders and no-bid contracts. We've had people in City Hall indicted over overtime scandals again and again and again. But when you have a transparency dashboard where you can see where every single dollar is going, corruption cannot stand when you put it to the light. Additionally, I want to make sure that every single city worker is retrained. That way you can see and know that each person at City Hall isn't just there to collect a check. They're there specifically to work for you, because that's what public service looks like. And that's what transparency and accountability looks like as well.
Thank you. And now we're up to that end point of candidates providing their closing remarks. And as we mentioned earlier, we've adjusted it to 2 minutes, and we're starting from the mayor coming toward me.
I found it to be an honor to be the mayor of the great capital city for the last 8 years. And I am vying to run for re-election to finish the job. We've done, I think, an amazing job as building blocks. Again, 3,000 properties were on the rolls, abandoned, not on the tax rolls, and now they're getting it. We're working with local developers to make things better in each one of the neighborhoods. We're not leaving anybody out. On our Choice Neighborhood initiative that only 7 cities in the nation received, we're reimagining the North Ward, along with Capitol Health and working with the state and our partners at the Housing Authority. When it came to police, when I first came in here, out of the 18 captains and lieutenants, 2 were of color. Today, we have the first African-American woman that's a captain, and we have the first Latina woman that is a captain as well. So we're getting a police department that reflects the neighborhood it serves. Every one of us up here has great ideas, but the bottom line is you have to prioritize and you have to get the money. We can only look to the state. We are the capital city. And again, we've increased state aid every year. We have to do more. We're also working with our federal partners and working with our county partners to also increase funding opportunities. Look at the 60 parks that we have. We've made improvements in most parks, and we've even added recreational equipment that serves the disabled community. And we're really proud of that. The latest park that we just opened was at on Franklin Street, Franklin Park. And we're proud of the improvements that we keep making so that Trenton is on a trajectory up, not down.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, first, I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this candidate forum, the first one of hopefully of many, so that you guys can hear from every candidate, so you get to understand exactly who you should vote for on November 3rd. And I'm hoping that you push the button for me. Experience, trust, communication. I'm someone that has been boots on the ground in this community for 15 years. Never title chasing. I didn't go outside of my house and outside of my home, my family, to give back to my community just to run for office and hold a title. This happened because I saw failed leadership. Because when I advocated for the needs against gun violence, for youth, for our seniors, for our parks, for everything across this city, it fell on deaf ears. I watched leadership power struggle for years. And I've been trying to work with everyone that I could work with that's willing to work with me. Even if you don't like me, I don't care. That doesn't matter. I represent everyone. We need a new police director. We need a director of finance. We have misallocations of funds. We have time theft. We have all types of corruption. We have sexual harassment. We have hundreds of workers' compensation and sexual harassment claims that we are not litigating. We have properties that, due to the leadership of this council and myself and the tenacity, we have gotten a couple hundred properties sold, whereas this administration, for the first 6 years before this council came in, sold less than a dozen. That's the work of myself, as you saw flyers going out with QR codes to purchase city-owned properties and step-by-step to do it. The rent stabilization board that this council made active again, and the rent stabilization office, because of the advocacy of this council, because of the advocacy of me standing here before you, fighting for everything that we need in this community. I'm a fighter, and the city needs a fighter in order to rebuild it. So I ask for your support this November. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Corey.
All right, folks. The reality is, this city, excuse me, I'm passionate, y'all, I'm passionate. This city is on life support. We need a leader who has vision. We need a leader who actually will hold people accountable. And we need a leader who who understands that measurable results are what matters. I patrolled the streets of Trenton at 2 a.m. when folks were sleeping with their doors locked. I've carried lifeless bodies out of art all night. I have committed and dedicated my life to this city, and I want to be a part of the change moving forward. My prayer is that you all will elect me as your next mayor, November 3rd, 2026. Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. Candidate Londo.
I want to thank everyone for attending. I'm pleasantly surprised that this room is packed. All right, because it's important. This election is critical. It is critical. We can't continue what we've been doing. Right? This has been going on for almost 40 years. The same idea, same group, same people involved, and nothing changes because it's become more important about this, the group, than the people. All right? I grew up in this city. I've served for 26 years here. I was in the worst neighborhoods, locking up the worst people, dealing with the worst situations. No one here can say that. I'm the only one. All right? And I rose up the ranks. And I retired as a detective lieutenant. And I was in charge. I made decisions about violence. All right? I put cases together. I've testified at municipal, state, federal, tribal courts. I've worked to improve the conditions of the city. I went away, right? People were critical. I tried to be police director here. I prepared myself and I was turned away. And I went away and I became a chief of police on an Indian reservation. And I worked in Kentucky. Not only am I a Trenton police officer, my vision and my experience is now like this, right? And I bring that to the table. And I ask you folks, if you've never done it before, if you've never made a decision, if you've never been held accountable, if you've never had to stand tall when you made a mistake and say, I messed up. If you've not done that when things have been critical, then how can you do it now? All right? If you talk about accountability, that's what that means. When things are going good, everybody's, hey, we did it, I did it. But when things are going bad, are you going to say, I did it? That's leadership. All right? And that's why I asked you to vote for me.
Thank you. Candidate Austin.
I first, again, want to thank the Chamber for having this amazing event. And I especially want to thank you all for taking time out of your day and dedicating yourself to the future of Trenton. Now, was it just me, or did everyone up here talk about that they wanted some type of change in Trenton? But you had to ask yourself, where were they when Trenton was falling behind? You see, everybody here, all of my opponents have ties to City Hall and have proven they can do nothing to stop the corruption that is going on. But good news, y'all, I don't have any ties to any of that. Because while they were messing around, we have a Trenton Police Department that was investigated for abusing our residents. We have health officials who are again caught stealing money from City Hall. We have 50 million of our taxpayer dollars that went to political insiders and no-bid contracts. And we have an administration who is playing in our face about the quality of our water. Y'all, let's stop electing the same old, and expecting different results. This is why I'm running for mayor. I'm running for mayor so I can bring good paying jobs here to Trenton and reward the companies that hire Trenton first. I want to make sure that we can stop crime before it starts by investing in our street teams. I want to make sure that housing is affordable for all by freezing the rent and property taxes. And finally, I want to open the books at City Hall so you can see where your taxpayer dollars are going. Again, my name is Austin Edwards, and I am running to be your next mayor here in Trenton, New Jersey. Born here, raised here, raising my family here, and have years of fighting for you here in Trenton. Let's fight together.
Thank you. Thank you to the candidates. Thank you to the residents that showed up today. We're bringing up the founder, president, and CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce, Dr. John E. Harmon.
Oh, what a day. Give yourselves a round of applause. Special thanks to all the candidates. Give them a round of applause. To the volunteers and to our sponsors. I just have a few closing comments. Please. If you would just indulge me just for a few minutes, and we'll get out of here. You know, as I look around the room, this is how you bring change to your city. You know, when I look at Hamilton, I look at Lawrence, I look at Ewing, Hopewell, those communities are where they are because their citizens are engaged. This is a phenomenal showing today, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't learned anything today, the need for you to attend city council meetings, the need for you to attend school board meetings is at an all-time high. If you don't go in and find out what's going on and ask questions, you deserve to get what you get. How many of you, don't raise your hand, because I know a lot of you, I don't do politics. If you don't do politics, politics gonna do you. Time and time again. So this is an opportunity to change the trajectory of our city. Just a few more points, and then we're gonna roll out of here. I can't tell you how many calls we receive saying, don't hold this forum. I'm not gonna name names today because you know I'll do that. I mean, call after call. Don't hold the forum, you hold it too early, people not certified, qualified. This is the foolishness that goes on in your city. But the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey, we work to be very independent and represent the interests of not only Trenton, but people around the state of New Jersey. I live here, so I have some idea what's going on, don't know everything that's going on, but I know that this conversation today was important. I'm gonna give you a few little tidbits of information about the African American Chamber of Commerce because some of you may have heard of us, but you don't really fully understand who we are and what we do, right? So now, we don't just represent African American people, right? We represent businesses and people in New Jersey. However, African Americans alone cannot change the trajectory of their lives. Come on. We have to be connected to those who have the resources, the opportunities, and the information. That's right. Corporations, now I'm not going to indict anybody on the panel, but one of the challenges in the city, we don't have enough private sector relationships. We're very engaged. I hear the state. The state has been there forever and nothing's changed. So we cannot continue to be overly dependent on the state. We have to build a city where people want to live, work, and invest, right? So the corporate sector is so important. Within the chamber, all the utility companies, gas, electric, and water are members. Various colleges, universities, state agencies. We have 8 hospital systems across the state. About 30 to 40 banks are members of the chamber. So none of those enterprises are Black owned, but they're critical to our viability in the state. So this is why we partner with them. But when you talk about the numbers for Black people, FYI, there's 1.2 million Blacks in the state of New Jersey and 124,000 Black businesses. And this is where we stand. We have the highest poverty, the highest unemployment. Our net worth is when you take your assets and subtract your liabilities. Our net worth is $20,000 versus $660,000 for whites. These are the data points we address every day. If I'm in the room, you don't have to be in the room. because we're speaking truth to power every day on their behalf. 4 out of 10 Blacks own homes. So if you don't own a home, it's difficult to create wealth. So the conversation about home ownership is paramount. In this city, there's some great opportunities here. The state of New Jersey has about, I think it's between 22,000, Carmen? 22,000 that they provide for first-time home buyers. And if you buy a home in Trenton, first-time home buyer, Capital Health adds another 20,000. That's the type of stuff the chamber does. We gather information, we try to connect people. So that's $42,000 that you can have to buy a home in this city. This city has great potential, and I challenge you to take advantage of it. The chamber also, AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, they're all members. And I'm going somewhere with this because if we're not connected to those players, we can't change your lives or change the lives of your business. So I encourage those of you who are in business to find a way to connect with us. We also have programming around returning citizens. We go into prisons to help men and women that are about to exit the system to learn how to start businesses. And Phil does our training with real estate investment. Tracy Syfax works with us with the ex-offenders. We're in the streets. I was just in Northern State Prison last week talking to men about when they come home. So we genuinely care about your family and friends. I have family and friends that have worn orange jumpsuits. So I know it firsthand, right? We also in the chamber have our Training and Development Institute. We get resources from the state. We work with those who are opioid infected, those who try to get into the world of work and change their lives. And the last thing I'm going to say, 2 last things. We are building a center in this city called the Transformation Center. We recently acquired a 27,000 square foot building on West Hanover Street, formerly Thomas Edison University. Within this building, we're going to have carpentry, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, welding, right? We're going to have business incubators. We're going to have technology where students can do bio and chemistry labs, virtual reality. And we're talking right now with the developers about really Black history. Because many of our folks don't know about our history. We built this country. And the reason we're being hoodwinked and bamboozled is because we don't realize who we are. And so we're working with developers now. When I grew up here, we had a Black Culture Center on Brunswick Avenue, where I could go on the weekends and understand about Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver. You know, ladies like Gladys West. Without Gladys West, you would not have GPS mapping. Without Captain Johnson, Elon Musk's spacecraft would not get up in the air. So we built America, and we have to step up, ladies and gentlemen, and be engaged in this next election. We are the only accredited Chamber of Commerce in the state of New Jersey. And there's 154 chambers of commerce, and we are the only accredited Black Chamber of Commerce with a statewide designation of distinction in the United States. So I said that to say this. Trenton still makes. Trenton still makes. And we got to realize that. We have development going on in this city right now. We have a $70 million project at 5 Points. No one contacted the chamber, right? So we're here to help, but we're not, I go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated, right? But we can help you. We have a $90 million school. We saw groundbreaking a couple weeks ago. No one called me. No one engaged the chamber. So you wonder why people don't get to participate in economic opportunity. It makes no sense to have this vehicle in your community and we're not leveraged. We want to be leveraged to help you, help us. So please, November 3rd,
November 3rd.
you better vote. Because whoever becomes mayor is your choice. All right, Carmen, I was trying to close. She said October 13th is the last day for voter registration. So let's get a record turnout. Historically, people have been elected because people don't participate, right? And then you want to make an indictment on whomever, but this is your call. You got to get it right. God bless you and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Yes.